So I felt I'd made it. That was the top of the showbiz jazz world for me.
And Judith, there were a few impediments along the way. For example, you got measles.
Well, I got measles at 4, yes.
It was no small thing.
No, well, it certainly changed my life because a side effect of measles back in those days, before antibiotics or anything, was often bronchiectasis. And I got this remaining cough after my measles. So I was told, of course, I'd have that for the rest of my life and it wouldn't be easy and they might have to take part of a lung away and all that. And I've been very fortunate. I'm still going, and a lot of people live for a ripe old age with bronchiectasis. Well,
how did a singing career seem possible if you had a regular, constant cough?
It isn't really, is it?
I don't know. You seem to have put the light to it.
Well, look, you know, I just juggle my cough and I try and eat a certain way to... I find diet helps a fair bit. And, you know, I just hope the people are going to clap a long time so I can cough on the applause, basically.
Back then, as a teenager, you started to struggle with food.
I remember distinctly when that was too. I had a biscuit after I'd had some cough medicine. And I thought, gee, this is nice, having a biscuit when you're not supposed to, sort of thing. And that kind of, I think that sort of triggered it in a way. So, but yes, I was very critical of myself and self-conscious. And in the early days, I actually told somebody that I'd rather be on radio and on records and not on television because I didn't think I should be seen. I thought I should be heard and not seen.
What were you self-conscious about?
I thought I had a fat face. And it was all wrong. I thought it was all proportioned the opposite of what you should be to be a star. Really, seriously, yeah. Yeah. I actually would have had plastic surgery in those days, if I could have. I spoke to somebody about it, but he said no, he wouldn't do it.
So it was on your it was on your first day in a job as a secretary at J. Walter Thompson, the advertising bureau, that you met Athol Guy.
Absolutely. On the first day at J. Walter Thompson, I told the girls who were near me at other desks that I was a singer, and they said, there's another singer in here, his name's Athol Guy. Anyway, I came and sang with them that night. That's when the Seekers were born, on that very night that I started working there. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Just how on earth could destiny plonk you there? I did not set out to become one of a 4-part harmony group going to the other side of the world to become pop stars. When the stars begin to fall. It was no choice of mine at all. It was made for me. We were the first Australian group to have gone over to England. And within 6 weeks we were on the Palladium and we were already doing television every week. I'll Never Find Another You surprised everyone by going straight to the top of the charts around the world. No matter what I do, for I know I'll never find another you. Everybody loves I'll Never Find Another You. It just touches something very deep with people. My image of me in that group is that I don't match up to the glamour of the boys. Many miles away, driver at the engine, fireman rings the bell, Sandman swings the lantern to show that all is well. Up until certainly we'd had our first couple of hits, I was still trying to make all my own clothes, trying to disguise my weight. And this one, made that one, believe it or not, which was made from a sari I bought in Fiji on the way across to England. And this one, which was taken on Westminster Bridge, and it was freezing cold, me in my Australian summer dress, but I made it, believe it or not. When we first walked out on the stage at the Myer Music Bowl, with 200,000 people waiting for us, people certainly showed their love for us that day.
That concert at the Sydney Myer Music Bowl still is the biggest concert ever held in Australia, isn't it?
It's apparently the biggest, yes, in the Southern Hemisphere.
The
Yes.
Guinness Book of Records says so.
So I believe, yes, it's fantastic, isn't it? Yes, apparently 10% of Melbourne turned out to be at that concert.
When you look back at those images of you singing, what do you think? What do you hear?
Oh, look, it's an eye-opener for me to realise that's the level of popularity that we had at the time. That, to me, is what stuns me. We knocked the Kinks off with that first record, I think it was. 3 weeks later, Tom Jones knocked us off with It's Not Unusual. So you just never knew what was going to happen. And we were the top-selling artists in the first 6 months of 1965. But to realise we were actually on a scale of the Beatles at certain times of our career was quite astonishing. It was totally awesome to be out there like that. And I really appreciate the blend of the four voices. It's the natural timbre of the boys' voices in combination with mine that's the miracle.
This is all quite unbelievable, really. It's just such a magic carpet ride, isn't it?
Totally, totally. There's no way in the world you could contrive it, write it, dream it up.
How did this young woman in her early 20s cope with this?
I didn't really cope with it very well, to be honest. I felt very, very self-conscious and I just really struggled with my image and there was a lot of pressure on me. It was always me, obviously. I was the focal point.
Sounds like you didn't actually enjoy it. What a pity.
Yeah, I know.
Is that true?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, yes. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I should have. But I do think in a way it was a protective mechanism because if I had realised I was a top star and that other people perceived me to be glamorous, it might have gone to my head and I might have led a loose life. Imagine that, Peter. You know, I might have. Who knows? It was probably
sure it would have been open to you.
Who knows? Who knows? Isn't it funny? My brain just did not accept it, that we'd actually achieved that around the world. It never hit me till many, many, many years later.
Oh, my,